Welcome everyone to the first episode of MMOpinion. This is a new project that will allow me to focus on specific MMOs to cover everything from general reviews to lore to gameplay to news, such as the most recent announcement of World of Warcraft's upcoming expansion, Legion. This episode will be focusing primarily on the zones announced for the expansion, since exploration is and has always been one of my primary pleasures when it comes to MMOs. Here we see the map as released on the expansion announcement website, showing the entirety of the Broken Isles continent, which, based on the descriptions of the zones and the content, I would presume to be somewhere fairly close to the Maelstrom. How it has gone undetected, or rather overlooked, all this time is one heck of a mystery. Hopefully there will be an explanation given at launch, perhaps similar to the mist that shrouded Pandaria, or the sentient nature of the Wandering Isle itself. According to the presentation at Gamescom 2015, we will begin our journey here at the Broken Shore, where the Burning Legion has initiated the largest demonic invasion of Azeroth ever. Gul'dan has used the Tomb of Sargeras to tap into an infinite number of Legion worlds in order to fuel his master's thirst for vengeance against the world that has so long defied them. It is possible that we may see the Broken Shore prior to the expansion, as it was hinted that we should begin our assault on the Legion and that the expansion would start with us awakening to a world on fire. Mind you, this initial assault might be in another zone not shown on the official Broken Isles map, but instead one that was visible on the concept map shown during the Gamescom presentation, a zone known as Thaldraenith. Now, this is purely speculation on my part, and it wouldn't be the first time that Blizzard has planned for a zone that didn't make it to the final cut. In fact, the announcement cinematic shows Khadgar flying over the waters approaching the Broken Isles from the south, and from this perspective, we can clearly make out the Tomb of Sargeras at the edge of the Broken Shore. Looking beyond, we can make out the remainder of the continent and can approximate the locations of Azuna, Suramar, Val-Shara, Stormheim, and High Mountain in the far background. Conspicuously missing, however, is Thaldraenith. If our initial assault on the Legion takes place in Thaldraenith, ultimately resulting in the destruction of that zone once the expansion launches, it could explain the unnamed series of islands to the east of Broken Shore. This unfortunately does not explain the zone's absence in the opening cinematic, which would predate any actual attack we could muster. Further, the unnamed islands could also correspond to a series of islands shown in the concept maps under the Death Knight fortress of Acheris. Moving beyond our initial conflict against the Legion, we will begin our primary quest of seeking the 5 Pillars of Creation, ancient artifacts left behind by the Titans when they first used them to seal the festering wound in Azeroth, a feat that we will attempt to duplicate ourselves once the Pillars are safely in our possession. Unfortunately, the Legion and its allies conspire to keep the Pillars from us. One of our stops will be the land of Azuna, built atop the bones of an ancient Kaldoraic civilization, final resting place to the Night Elf ghosts long since lost, and home to the exiled nobility of Suramar, the Nightfallen, and even a dying breed of the Blue Dragonflight. Here, we will compete against the Naga forces of Queen Azshara, presumably under the direct leadership of Tide Mistress Athissa, to reach the Pillar of Creation in time. The Eye of Azshara is a dungeon in the zone, and will likely represent the pinnacle of that conflict. Visually, the zone appears an idyllic blend of Western Ashenvale and the pre-Cataclysm Barrens. Moving north, we will encounter Val-Shara, once the very heart of druidic learning and the place where Malfurion Stormrage first learned his craft from Cenarius. Now the land has fallen prey to corruption by means of the Emerald Nightmare, centered in the Tree of Seldrassil. Nightmare Lord Xavius has returned more powerful than ever, and with his Satyr army to back him, he poses a threat significant enough to render even the acquisition of the Pillars meaningless. We will have to turn back the corruption not only at the base of Seldrassil in the depths of the Dark Heart Thicket, but we will need to ascend into the very branches to pierce the Emerald Nightmare directly. Also featured in the zone is Blackrock Hold. The ancestral home of Lord Cortalos Ravencrest has additional ties to Illidan Stormrage, who once served Lord Ravencrest during the War of the Ancients. Of course, Illidan could potentially show up anywhere given the nature of the expansion, and it remains a question whether he'll be friend or foe when he does. Illidan, however, is not the only prominent face we might expect, as we are likely to encounter the demigods last seen around Mine Hyjal, as well as the dragon aspect of Syrah herself. Visually, Val-Shara combines elements from Teldrassil, Moonglade, the Jade Forest, the Dreaded Wastes, and even the Dark Heart of Gilneas. Moving eastward, we ascend to the highest point of the continent, High Mountain. Here we will encounter a dangerous and deadly land populated by the High Mountain Tauren, keepers of the Relic of Khazgarath, and a new race, the Drogbar. Ruled by their Underking, Drargul, the Drogbar capital lies at the heart of the former lair of the Earth Warder Neltharion. We will need to contest with the Underking himself to seize control of the Pillar of Creation, and given the ties to his own ancestry, and his own interest in averting the Legion invasion, it is a safe bet to expect the appearance of the Black Prince Wrathion, for better or worse. In addition, we will once again find the famous hunter Hemet Nessingwary and have the opportunity to bring down the biggest and baddest game as part of his expedition. Visually, High Mountain has a flavor not unlike the grizzly hills of Northrend. Stormheim dominates the eastern shore of the Broken Isles and ties heavily to the Howling Fjord. Here we will find Vrykul who left their homeland thousands of years ago to seek their holy land. Now they are pawns to the Legion under the command of their god king. From the cloud-born halls of Valor to the storm-sea-tossed Naglfar en route to the accursed shores of Helheim, we will learn the histories of the Vrykul, the Valkyr, and the dishonored Kvaldir as we seek the fourth pillar of creation. In addition, this is a land caught in a war between two Titan keepers that has waged for thousands of years. At the heart of the continent, we come to Suamar, the city of night, home to the Nightborn, a race of elves born of an older race that has flourished under the abuse of magic, under the watchful eye of the Majestrix. But as with the Vrykul of Stormheim, they are little more than pawns to the Legion. At the heart of the Suamar Palace, we will encounter the source of the Nightborn's boundless power, the Nightwell, likely a conceptual counterpart to the Sunwell that once sustained the Blood Elves. It is confirmed that once we battle our way through the Nightborn and their Legion guards, we will at last confront Gul'dan himself and resolve what we started when we first freed him at the start of Warlords of Draenor. This is a land that is a visual blending of Teldrassil and Silvermoon, demonstrating the unreached potential heights that the Blood Elf Society could have reached in succumbing to their addiction to magic. Finally, our base of operations in the Broken Isles will be quite familiar. The Kirin-Tor, now under the leadership of Khadgar, will relocate Dalaran from the heart of Northrend to the southern shore of the Broken Isles, overlooking Suamar and the Tomb of Sargeras. Here we will have the opportunity to learn more about the origins of the Kirin-Tor and mages in general, and we will face new threats in the Violet Hold unleashed due to the proximity to the tomb. It was confirmed by the dev team that although Dalaran will be our hub in the Broken Isles, it will also remain in Northrend for those adventuring there, because, as they explained it, they see each expansion as a different time period, and thus there is no conflict in Dalaran being in two places because they occur at different times. Dalaran will be familiar, but updated, with some changes to both the city itself and the underbelly, along with myriad texture updates as well. While we will have our traditional flight paths, the devs have confirmed that freeform flight in the Broken Isles will follow the pattern they've established for Warlords of Draenor, through the completion of feats and accomplishments only. And there you have the basic breakdown of the forthcoming zones for Legion. Beta testing is scheduled to begin later this year, and an official launch date is yet to be announced. As always, if you like what you've seen here, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. I enjoy a wide number of MMOs, and if there's a topic that you would like me to cover in either World of Warcraft, Aeon, WildStar, or what have you, please let me know and I'll do my best to accommodate. See you guys next time.